Now it's time to look at some lists for the MCU. The top 10 most hilarious characters. Now, I've probably said this before, but I haven't seen all the movies, and Spider-Man Homecoming, it's a good entry, but it doesn't compare to the other Spider-Man movies in my mind. But what about the other films?
These cinematic characters are marvelously funny. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest MCU characters.
See, Happy is hoping to get bumped up to asset management. He was before head of security, and before that he was just a driver.
It was a private conversation. I don't like joking about this. It was hard for me to talk to you.
Hey trivia fans, WatchMojo is on the Q's live trivia app, where your pop culture knowledge can earn you real money. And it's hosted by me, the WatchMojo lady. Winners in our first game took home $200 each. Get the app on iOS or Android to be notified when it's game time. You can find the download link in the description.
For this list, we'll be going over the most hilarious characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll only be including entries from the MCU films, though.
Anyone here fought the Grand Master's champion?
Doug has? Doug! Oh, no, Doug's dead.
Number 10, Peter Parker / Spider-Man.
Hey, buddy, I think you lost this.
One of the youngest MCU heroes, at least on the big screen, Peter Parker has great power and great responsibility thrust on him, but he still manages to have fun. His excitability and penchant for pop culture references make him both endearing and highly amusing.
What dance off?
It's not in that.
I can Footloose the movie.
Exactly like Footloose. Is it still the greatest movie in history?
It never was.
Tom Holland's cocky Spider-Man persona is the one we've all been waiting to see captured on the big screen, and he delivers that side of the character brilliantly, while also making Peter's awkward side funny as well. Given his young age, we hope that we'll have many more years of laughs to come.
It is I, Thor, son of Odin.
It's not funny.
That's definitely not what we want to watch. Just
Your impressions are very funny.
It's not.
Shuri.
This corset is really
Yeah.
uncomfortable. So could we all just wrap it up and go home?
The Princess of Wakanda and the younger sister of the Black Panther, T'Challa, Shuri is an absolute genius, keeping her brother and the rest of the country ahead of the rest of the world with her numerous vibranium-based inventions. However, Shuri's tongue is as sharp as her mind, and she's always ready with a witty remark.
Hey, people are shooting at me. Wait, let me put on my helmet.
Enough.
Shuri's sarcastic and welcome comic relief is a definite highlight of the Black Panther movie, and we look forward to seeing more from her.
Don't scare me like that, colonizer.
Number 8, the Grand Master.
So the movie's a dream.
From life.
The ruler of the planet Sakaar, the Grand Master is a highly eccentric, decadent, and egocentric character who acts as a secondary antagonist in Thor Ragnarok. Although his domination over his people is often objectively harsh and draconian, his goofy denial over this and his lighthearted execution of people in horrific ways makes for a very entertaining contrast.
the slaves have armed themselves.
I don't like that word.
Mainframe.
No. Why would I not like mainframe? No, the yes word, yes word.
Sorry, the prisoners with jobs have armed themselves.
Okay, that's better, that's better.
The Grandmaster's quirks are brought to life by an absolutely hilarious performance by Jeff Goldblum, whose mannerisms and odd little touches make the character a real treat to watch.
I gotta say, I'm proud of you all. This revolution has been a huge success. Yay us. Pat on the back. Pat on the back.
Number 7, Rocket Raccoon.
What is this thing? Look how it thinks it's so cool. It's not cool to get help. Walk by yourself, you little gargoyle.
While he may have a tragic past as a lab experiment, Rocket the Talking Raccoon makes us laugh. For real.
It's a fake laugh. It's real.
The cantankerous pilot and fix-it man, or animal, of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket is a lovable jerk whose frequent blunt and outrageous remarks are a crack-up.
I'm sorry. Your name is... It's Taserface?
I love Guardians too, by the way.
That's right.
Do you shoot tasers out of your face?
Everything about him, from his ill-tempered arguments with his teammates to his friendship with Groot to his strange obsession with prosthetic limbs, only adds to his crabby charisma.
How much for the gun?
Not for sale.
Okay, how much for the arm?
Oh, get that on.
Number 6, Thor.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
The Asgardian, formerly known as Prince, and one of the strongest Avengers, Thor is one of the longest-serving members of the MCU, and he's only gotten funnier as time's gone on.
The fall of Asgard. The great prophecy.
Hang on. I'll be back around shortly. Do I really feel like we were connecting there?
A large part of what makes Thor funny is his lack of familiarity with Earth's culture and our expressions. However, Thor's cocky attitude, one-upmanship, and his contentious relationship with his brother Loki are also great sources of comedy. No matter the joke, though, Chris Hemsworth's charming performance always manages to tickle our funny bones.
Yeah, but too bad he's going to be leaving after Endgame.
Oh, by the way, this is a friend of mine, Tree.
I am Groot.
Number 5, Scott Lang / Ant-Man.
I was hoping I could grab a piece of technology. Just for a few days, I'm going to return it. I need it to save the world. You know how that is.
A former thief-turned-shrinking superhero, Scott Lang may be a criminal, but he's far from hardened.
Captain America.
Mr. Lang?
It's an honor. I'm shaking your hand too long. Wow, this is awesome. Captain America. I know you too. You're great.
Scott is a terrifically funny guy whose dry humor and unabashed enjoyment of his suit's abilities are, thanks to Paul Rudd's exceptional comedic timing, rather infectious. It's this comedic versatility that makes him among the MCU's finest.
Does anyone have any orange slices?
Number 4, Drax.
His people are completely literal.
I prefer Rocket Raccoon over Drax.
Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
A convicted murderous maniac isn't what most people think of when it comes to comedy, but Drax is an absolute laugh riot.
She just told everyone your deepest, darkest secret.
Dude, come on. I think you're overreacting a little bit.
You must be so embarrassed.
His complete inability to understand metaphors and other idioms leads to some hilarious comedy. In addition, the occasions where he displays a more sensitive side that clashes with his tough guy image are also rather amusing. Drax also makes a great double act with Mantis, whose naivete plays against his outlandish and often rude statements brilliantly.
People usually want cute pets. Why would he go on such a hideous one?
Even with all that, we're not sure we can quantify what makes Drax so uproariously funny.
Where is Gamora? Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Number 3, Korg.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you.
A man made of rocks that Thor meets on Sakaar, Korg is a failed revolutionary turned gladiator. Despite his fearsome appearance, Korg is soft-spoken and goofy, and this contrast is just the first of many funny things about him.
Piss off, Ghost! He's freaking gone.
In terms of the percentage of time he spends on screen being funny, Korg may technically be the funniest character on our list, as nearly every single line he says or thing he does in Thor Ragnarok is hilarious. Bottom line, we all want more Korg.
Sounds like you had a pretty special and intimate relationship with this hammer, and that losing it was almost comparable to losing a loved one.
Number 2, Peter Quill / Star-Lord.
I hate that,
Are funny
Dempsey.
to some degree. We'd argue that their leader, Peter Quill, or Star-Lord, also leads the rest in how amusing he is. Given that he was abducted and raised by aliens during the 1980s, Quill clings to the pop culture of his youth, leading him to make many outdated references.
There's a legend about people like you. It's called Footloose.
His irreverent sense of humor, as well as his exasperation with his teammates' even more outrageous behavior, also contribute to his excellent spectrum of funny moments. If not for our next entry, he'd probably be number 1.
Because if all we come at him with is a plucky attitude...
Dude, don't call us plucky. We don't know what it means.
Number 1, Tony Stark / Iron Man.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Could it really be anyone else? Tony Stark, Iron Man himself, has been around longer than any of the other characters on our list, giving him a greater number of opportunities for funny moments. Tony's witty, irreverent sense of humor, and Robert Downey Jr.'s wonderfully charismatic delivery has given us plenty of laughs over the years.
Batman is playing Galaga.
Thought we wouldn't notice. But we did.
How does Fury even see these?
As the original MCU superhero, Tony has not only made us laugh longer than any other character, he's also set the comedic tone for the entire MCU. If he wasn't as funny as he was right from the start, we might not have gotten any of our other entries.
Trespassing in this city and on this planet.
He made Skid Law, Squidward.
Do you agree with our picks?
Something I like about the MCU is that it has its fair share of dramatic moments, but there are some good comedic moments as well, even if they don't hit bullseye. Oh boy. Speaking of dramatic,